Welcome to the meeting room at Global TV Talk Show, a broadcast service of globalbusinessnews.net.
Now, here's your host, Ed Cohen.
Hi, this is Ed in San Diego, and you're on Global TV Talk Show, a unit of globalbusinessnews.net. And we're live in London. And Mike Hibberd is founder and CEO of Global Expat Pay. And I really am excited to have you back again. And now that we're in the new year and changes are happening and seemingly the engines are flowing and businesses is picking up, thank God. So hello, Mike, welcome.
Hi, Ed, good to see you again.
Yeah, so what time is it in London? Right.
So we are 4:30 in the afternoon, so tail end of our day.
Yeah. So does it get dark at 4:30, or is that pushed a little later now?
It's stretching a little bit. So yeah, we're probably 5:30. We've got about another hour of daylight.
Yeah,
And
that's about what it is here in San Diego at this time. But I can't wait because each day it seems to inch a little bit further back and further back.
There's some. I don't know if you've spent much time in Scandinavia, but the Danish say on Midsummer's Day, they say it's nearly winter, and on Midwinter's Day in December, they say it's nearly summer. So it's a very different perspective on the seasons.
Yeah, well, I've been in Copenhagen, but not in winter. And then I've been in Oslo and also Stockholm, but all during the summer.
Yeah.
Being a chick in Southern California, you know. Actually, I grew up in Boston, which is sort of similar weather to London, I think. And I just couldn't wait to get out of there. So, and I waited almost too long, but I did it. It was back in 1980, I finally migrated to Southern California. And because I heard that song from the Mamas and the Papas, California Dreaming, on just a cloudy day and blah, blah, blah. And boy, I've been living it since then.
Yeah, it's a nice part of the world, having visited a number of times. So yeah.
Yeah. So I'm planning to launch my live global meetings once again, starting in London, and then go on to Paris and then Geneva before we take some playtime in southern Italy. But so I want you to keep that in mind and be a speaker. Originally, our dates was going to be in late April, but I think it might be too soon. So we're going to push it. Don't know when yet.
Right.
Okay, good. So Mike Hibberd, you've had a chance during the pandemic to, like I have, re-energize and reinvent and resituate yourself, if that's a good word, vis-a-vis the stage of the business that the global mobility industry seems to be going through. Would you like to comment on that?
Yeah, definitely. There's lots of optimism around, actually, because I don't. Although some moves that didn't need to happen have never happened and never will, there are lots of moves that needed to happen but didn't, and they're now in a phase of catch up. So there's lots going on for global mobility teams. They are, I think, probably more in the spotlight within the company, which is a better place to be. But they've also been given more responsibilities, like, you know, what should we do with remote workers and so on. So with that's coming more things to do with the same resource, and therefore how do you do things differently to make that happen?
So you don't really handle the physical move and the personal take care ofs. You're in the background in the infrastructure. Is that correct?
Yeah, essentially, if you think about all the things that need to happen once a move's been determined, there's the physical part of, and that's obviously very important. The assignee experience around that's really important. But then there are lots of compliance and recharging and finance processes, payroll that needs to happen. And when you add all of those tasks up, it's a lot to manage, and various parts of the organization get involved. But it's a problem. Generally, it's viewed as a problem because if someone doesn't get paid the right amount or the costs don't get budgeted properly, no one's really happy, and the escalations just impose lots of time on the
Yeah.
team.
Let me ask you, because you mentioned digitalization. Well, that's a tough one to say, but are you talking about the coming of blockchain to this process?
Yeah, well, blockchain is a form of automation, isn't it? Where it's I suppose a more locked down financial type automation process. But a lot of what's happening is around automation. So how do you make things work better? How do you take the time out of things? And how do you make them cheaper to operate? Because obviously automation means you don't do something at all because it's automated, and therefore the costs and the time that it takes currently go away.
Now, is your primary customer, you probably have many, but is your primary customer, of course, educate us, but is your primary customer a relocation company or a corporation?
It would definitely be corporations. So if you think of us as an extension of their team, and it's not just the mobility team, we work closely with the payroll teams, the finance teams, but what we're doing is managing the business processes and the data that's required for them on their behalf. So almost like an extension of their team to make things work better. And we obviously use technology to do that, but that's our technology to solve their problem rather than something they buy.
So who in general, who is your direct contact? Is it CFO or VP operations?
So the business owner, it tends to be the head of mobility, but as you know, there are lots of people who dabble in global mobility. The finance director's usually got an interest. How much is it costing? Are the costs ending up in the right place? Are we budgeting them properly? And then the kind of HR teams want to know, are there people being paid correctly and so on. So, but generally speaking, our primary point would be the head of mobility.
I've got lots of questions, but I want to focus on listening to you about the infrastructure and how you see it. And this is not new. It's just the techniques and the understandings are more elaborate today, right?
Yeah, definitely. So technologies become much easier to build. So we use Amazon Web Services, which is a massive data management toolkit. So we've built our technology there. So it's cloud-based, takes away a lot of the pain, is very scalable, and it makes it easier to integrate into other suppliers and other kind of sources of data. So we're using that to simplify the kind of enabling of our service, rather than a lot of things being done on spreadsheets, Excel, email, and so on, which is what we tend to find when we're working through the activation of our support.
So this is a measurable ROI for the corporate client.
Absolutely, yeah. We're very focused on that, because one of the challenges we've got is that because we're solving multiple problems at the same time, and at the moment that companies tend to have different people solving each part of that problem, no one can quite figure out which bucket to put us in, which might seem like a simple thing to solve, but obviously the business case has to be robust. So we're very business case focused, which obviously then leads to an ROI. And so far, I'm proud to say that we've managed to generate a positive ROI in year one. So that makes the business case come to life really quickly, and helps us make friends with the finance community, who are very skeptical about anything that is new spend. So it's quite a helpful case study to have in your back pocket.
Indeed. So your cost structure makes you very, very competitive vis-a-vis the big four.
Yeah, definitely. And I've obviously come from the Big Four, so it's a bit of a poacher turned gamekeeper situation. But you know where the bones are buried, and also when you actually think about making the customer outcome better, what that does is start to take away layers of cost. So if payroll works, you don't need payroll support. If the tax processes work, you don't need as much tax support. It becomes more efficient. And if the escalations are lower, then yeah, the internal teams are actually getting more time to do the things that they want to do around the assignee experience or advising the business. So it's a kind of a win on the time side and on the cost side.
So, in transferees, where to live, and so that's a really big issue for the transferee in advance, not while they're there, because they are there, but in advance of the move. That becomes a major question mark, I guess. What's the commute? Assuming people are going to commute again. To some extent, so you're getting involved in that now more than ever. Is that right?
Not so much where the individuals. So we're really handling the business processes, but we're working through a recent investment from ECA International that you may have kind of heard of. They have a lot of information about where you should live, how much it costs to live. So again, we're looking to kind of make it simpler to join these various things up, so that the internal teams have an easier way to get everything they need in one place.
Yeah. So so I'm going to continue down the list of banking. That's consumer banking, right? That's for the transferee.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, yeah, we do put I suppose we do touch the assignee at the start, because our view is that if you get that part right and people settle into the new country quickly, then they become more effective. And so the ROI on their assignment is more immediate, and obviously they're going there for a reason. The banking, we partner with HSBC Expat, and the neat thing there is that you can actually get a bank account set up in the host location, in most locations, before you actually land. So having moved a few times, you land with no spending power, or you're using credit cards. What we're trying to do is take that pain away from the individual by giving them the opportunity to have a bank account set up, funded in the local currency. So it becomes, again, a slightly less friction in the move.
Well, and that reduces the risk of failure or something blowing up.
Absolutely.
Because if that's an issue, then the emotional impact on relationships would just screw everything up. So
absolutely, I call that domestic escalations. And having moved a few times, if the domestic escalations are high, it really distracts you from doing what you really want to do.
So you can measure that, right?
you can definitely measure that blood pressure, however you want to take it, but it's definitely there.
So to what extent are you doing anything here in the US?
So we are supporting companies globally. So one of the things that we do is help them with moves that happen to be in the US. So same sort of thing, making sure that W-2s are right, simplifying the tax compliance process through better data, and then obviously the payroll support, making that work in a much simpler way.
So with the PwC spinoff, or whatever it's called, that must be coming right at you.
Yeah, I think it's a big market, and I think it's a really interesting move. I like what they've done. I think it will take probably a bit of time to settle down once the deal gets completed, and it does give them a lot of freedom to start doing things that they really can't do within the confines of the Big Four because of some of the kind of internal restrictions on audit and independence. So I think it's a really nice move, and it'll be interesting to see how that develops over the next 6 to 12 months.
Oh, this is really fast-paced and full of good information, and I'm sure our audience is able to comprehend it, and they'll be able to go back and replay and learn from you. So I want to say that it's globalexpatpay.com, and people can go there at will and go deeper.
Yeah, definitely. We've got a 5-minute self-diagnostic on our website, which is free, and it gives you an indication of what the opportunity looks like for your company. So that's a really good way just to see if we're likely to be in a position to help you generate a positive business case and help you in general.
Well, we've covered the landscape here, but now I want to just jump aside if we can for 4 minutes. And if you don't like it, just redirect me, okay? But Brexit. What a pain in the neck, and so what has it accomplished?
Well, I think it depends.
And I'm sitting here as a Southern Californian saying, what was all that about? Other than like a blue collar resurgence. Yeah.
Well, what it's meant is that there are lots of skills gaps in the UK, and we have to go into different immigration lane when we go to Europe. So that's become a bit more painful. Other than that, it's not made a massive difference, to be honest. I think immigration's become slightly more complicated, but that's, again, there's some transition to make that easier. I think consultants are getting paid a lot of money to figure out the impact on companies. And I think it's, people have adjusted. I think it's been a bit of pain, but nothing that people haven't been able to deal with.
Hi, this is Ed, and I thank you for tuning in to Global TV Talk Show, a unit on globalbusinessnews.net. We broadcast to the world, as you know by now. So I wanted to make sure that you understand that our programs are advertising supported. We're grateful for co-sponsors, advertisers. They have a marketing budget coupled with a strong desire to be associated with our top quality program. And of course, I'm grateful. Well, here's our advertisers, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes or so, and we'll proceed with this interesting conversation. Thank you.
This episode from the meeting room of Global TV Talk Show is brought to you by Porch-like Rental and Destination Services. Reduce your renter lump sum or managed relocation costs. Visit them at porchlikerental.com.
And by airs.com. With our full range of services, we can help design and manage your international relocation. Find us at airs.com.
Primestone Partners, featuring corporate, government, and developer housing solutions, as well as senior-level advisory services. Find them at primestonepartners.com. Become a global player in your field.
Cross Culture to Go provides virtual support for your global business and career success.
We can help you thrive in 140+ countries and markets.
On the web at crossculturetogo.com. Stop dreaming and start living overseas. International lifestyle consultant Emily Braun can help you seamlessly transition to your new life in your dream destination. Whether you are a retiree, a digital nomad, or a mobile executive, Emily Braun can make your transition overseas a success. Visit emilybraun.com.
Coutalis is a global group with a worldwide footprint. With 16 agencies in 10 countries, Coutalis offers companies and mobile professionals a unique combination of HR services and options. Find us at coutalis.com.
Take your communication skills to the next level. Barbara Bolt of Bolt Global has a passion to make you shine. As our globe expands, effective intercultural communication and presentation is a must. Visit boltglobal.com.
We are pleased to welcome Adamo Education as a proud sponsor of Global TV Talk Show.
The concept of a microschool is the reimagining of the one-room schoolhouse. My name is Tamara Becker. I'm the president and CEO of Adamo Education. The microschool concept really does not just lend itself to the personalization and the customization of learning, but also the social development and fostering that sense of love for learning. Unlike what we see in traditional brick and mortar schools, we have multiple grade levels in the same learning space. Students can be enriched by the socialization that they get, as well as the academic support from peers. What differentiates Adamo is the fact that we are taking the best pieces of brick and mortar, of digital, and then at-home learning. Students here can come 5 days a week. They can come 4 hours a day. It will really just depend on what is best for the student and for the parent. To enroll, just reach out via phone, text, or email, and we'll have that personalized conversation, and we'll be able to get you all set. Check us out at adamoeducation.org.
And all the big move was a couple, 3 years ago when, companies were scrambling to open up offices and move people. And this just sort of like scratch my head now,
I know. Well, you sort of wonder if some of those, because a lot of the financial institutions are almost resettling into London. There's been a bit of a migration back after the initial moving to Paris, moving to Dublin, and so on, moving to Frankfurt. So yeah, I think it's kind of settled back down. I think it's too. I mean, it's hard to properly evaluate the impacts because obviously it was more or less the same time COVID came along and made movement hard for everyone. So I think it will be interesting to see how that evolves in the next 6 to 12 months, when COVID is having less of an impact on the ability to move between borders, and those rules are becoming slightly more relaxed than they have been, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's enough of politics. So
you notice I skipped away from politics and just gave you a few facts.
Yeah. So as a matter of fact, we are here just talking about the intersection of business and employment, career development, and geopolitics, and all the things that impact the mobility of talent. So everything's related somehow. Yeah,
definitely. I thought you were going to sort of ask me, what my end game was or something like that, but I thought there was an age question coming along there somewhere.
I know, I'm older than you. I'm not going to do that. But I still have the top here.
Yeah, you do.
I even started growing some here. So, but that's it. No, not over here. Anyway, this has been a delight again. Thank you for doing this, and please consider being a speaker at my live meeting. Actually, it's going to be a hybrid meeting. We'll be in a live room. So I'm calling it VIP. Not that we're all very important, but it's virtual in person. Yeah. And so we'll have a screen and we'll broaden the market and the reach, not just Londoners.
Well, definitely. And yeah, look forward to that. Very happy to. And also we can grab a beer as well, maybe.
At least one harp. Yes. All right, Mike, thank you very much. Once again, it's globalexpatpay.com, and a very interesting website, the cute video, very easy to understand. Complicated topic, and thank you for making it easy, Mike.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Take care. Bye-bye. Good night.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us in the meeting room at Global TV Talk Show.
Have a wonderful day, and stay safe.